Hi everyone, welcome. This is Wednesday, May 9th, daily recap. So this is sim day number 3. Um, I've come back from London on a 9-month stint working for a broker. I now have a bit more knowledge, a bit more experience to continue my day trading journey. I'm learning a lot in the last 3 days just by getting back into the education part of things, reading quite a bit. And it's been really worthwhile. So today was a good day. I traded 3 stocks only, which is actually quite good. If I could have a day like this every day, very little stress, this is probably the ideal day. Obviously, I can have a bit more size, but as it is at the moment, I'm happy with where I am on day 3 after being away for almost a year. So I traded 3 stocks. Let's go through them now. My P&L, as you can see here, so DCIX was a low flow stock. Not really big fan of these, and I'll show you why in a second. Then WB, Weibo Corporation, was a good short. And then Walmart was just a really minor profit there. So if we look at DCIX first, so this is a low flow stock. I mean, let me just pull up my little pen. So on a 5-minute chart, which is what this is, market open here at 9:30. I've taken a lot of hits on these low float stocks. All right, I've taken a lot of pain, hurt with these low float pieces of shit, junk, freaking rubbish. So I'm not a real big fan of these, as you can imagine. So the first 5 minutes, the other guys in the chat room may be going, hell liver these, but I'm not really going near them. But anyway, but today, I thought, look, let's just give it a go. Let's see how it works in the simulator. Let's see if anything's changed in terms of my own approach to these low float stocks. Am I completely going to be, staying away from them, or is it something that every now and then, if I see a lot of volume coming in, I may be tempted. So you can see there was a lot of volume coming in. 2.5 million shares in the first 5 minutes, which is a shitload of volume. These guys had some news out. This was a really long 5-minute bar. I mean, if you can look at this candle, I mean, it goes from about 3.05 to about 240. Look at 65 cents. I mean, that is a big swing. So not something you want to get in on and hold through this pain. But anyway, long story cut short. So I got in with I think it was only 400 shares because once again, I'm not taking a lot of size at the moment because I'm going to take the next 2 weeks to just slowly get my way back into the whole kind of sphere of trading. And even when I do go live, I'll be taking a lot smaller size anyway to start off with, but just to get my feet wet, so to speak. So I saw it go up a little bit, so I added. Now I have a philosophy about whole numbers and half numbers being like magnets, right? Especially for these low flow stocks. There's a lot of stop losses around these. There's a lot of triggers around these whole numbers and $half numbers. So my average was, I think, $3.03 when I added to this, and it promptly shot up, and I sold, I think, most of my position here, and then I just left a little bit of a slither, and I got out of break even. Now, as you can see, promptly just went all the way down, dropped down pretty heavily, and then I wasn't interested in it anymore because there's no way I'm looking at a stock like this because I was quite nervous being in it as it was. So that was DCIX. WB, which I think was the best of the lot. So I really have noticed that I'm more successful going short by a considerable margin than I'm going long. So I don't know whether that's just my natural bias, or maybe I can see the patterns quicker or better or more consistently. I don't know. But, once again, we gave it the first 5 minutes. So this is the opening range. When it couldn't make a new high, I thought, okay, we'll go short. Now, because I was in DCIX, I got in quite a bit late to this. So, my stop loss would have been here, which is what, let's call it 115. So I got in, almost 2 points lower, which is an absolute shitload. Because even if I had gone in with 200 shares, which I did, 200 shares, which I did, I mean, $2 at 2 points is $200, right? Simple maths. So that's $200 that really I could have made had I got in at the right price, which is why it's so important to get in at the right price. So my stop loss, so this is interesting. So my stop loss, so because I had so much, I saw the negative momentum being so strong and carrying it so negatively down, I thought that if I set my stop loss at the $half mark at 13.50, that will still be okay. So normally I would set my stop loss at these, VWAPs or at these moving averages, but in this case I thought, because I'm so far away and I didn't take a big size, I probably would have cut it if it had gone 1350, 1375. But I went short here and it promptly dropped. Now, maybe I'm being a little bit more cautious because I've only just come back and it's been a while, but I covered quite quickly in 4 shots here. So this was one trade, which I think probably made up the bulk of this amount. And then when I saw it, head down again, I was thinking, right, okay, this is obviously quite weak. I mean, look at it. I mean, from the opening, was it 9.30? From $117 thereabouts, it's dropped to 112. I mean, that's 5 points. That is a hell of a lot in the first, 15 minutes, right? From 9.30 to 9.45. That's a big drop. But this is where you make all your money, right? This is where you make your money as a day trader, by seeing these patterns of clear momentum and clear either strength to the upside or a lot of weakness, right? And this was a lot of weakness. So this wasn't one of the more difficult trades to take. And then, once again, I scaled out once, twice, and then there's a little slither, which I was thinking of holding onto this slither of like 25, 50 shares, thinking, it might go down. Now, if we have a look at the daily chart, let me just bring that up for you, then you'll notice that about the $110 mark, there is a moving average, which I'll show you. Let me just clear all this garbage. So this is the daily chart, right? Have a look at here. You see this blue line? This is the 200 moving average. This is like a freaking magnet, right? Bloody hell, it's dropped below that. This is very weak. So I was thinking, if it runs to 110, that's kind of what I think it's going to get to, and maybe it'll bounce off there. But I mean, as you can see, this is just plummeting down. I mean, now obviously hindsight, I wish I'd held on to these 25 shares that I had and kind of just let it ride down. But it is what it is. I'm in no way greedy. So all's well that ends well. So that was WB, and then the third one was Walmart. Now Walmart is interesting because you saw this big run up at 9:30 market open. You saw this big run up heading down towards the this must be the 200, I think, or maybe it's the 50. Hang on, this is the 920. Yeah, this is the 50. So the purple one that you saw on the previous chart was the 200. So you saw it run up to the 50. It's obviously above the VWAP, and I'm thinking to myself, it could be a long. It could be a long. I mean, the way it's setting up, it could be a long. And that's what I did. I went long. I bought here. I sold a little. I think I sold half here, thinking we're going to reach this 50 again at whatever it is, $83.50. But then when it probably dropped down, I got at break even. So the one thing I've really done very well, and I have to congratulate myself for this, is that I'm cutting my losses at break even, or putting it another way, if I'm making money in a trade, I will not let it turn into a loser. All right. And what I mean by that is, by buying here, let me clear it again. By buying here and it having gone up to there, right? I'll take a bit of profit there, fine. If it goes up, I'll take profit on the way up, okay? But if it drops down to the price I entered, I'm going to get out. Before, what I used to do in the old days is I used to just kind of let this run, thinking, oh, it'll rebound and it'll go back up again. But clearly, as you can see here, if I had done that, I would have lost, well, whatever profit I had made, which wasn't much anyway, but I would have made a considerable loss. And then I would have been a bag holder. I would have been sitting here angry at myself, thinking, what the hell did I do? Why did I not sell this when it was break even? Why did I hold this piece of shit? So, that's one thing that I've learned, any winners that you get, don't let them turn into a loser. And that's about it. I mean, it's been a pretty good day. You know, making 400 or just under $400. I had 16 executions or 16 tickets and commissions of $22. So it's about $370 I made. You know, if I can do this day in, day out, look, even if I can do this 3 or 4 days out of 5 and lose the other 1 day or 2 days, you know, I'm still going to be ahead. And then all it takes is increasing your size. I mean, okay, it's easily said, but you know, going from 400 shares, you go up to 500 or to 600. You know, that's really all you're doing. But obviously, there is more psychology around with live money. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. So anyway, guys, I hope you have the great rest of the day. It's just gone 11 o'clock in New York, and I wish you all the best. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye.